Hello coffee friends, today we're gonna find out if more steam is always better. Let me quickly walk you through what we're gonna do in this video to see the difference between the 2-hole and the 4-hole tip. The first thing we're going to look at is how this affects the pressure in the boiler. So how fast do we lose pressure? Is there any difference between 2 holes and 4 holes? Second, we want to look at how this affects speed. So are we faster and how much faster are we with more holes? And finally, we're going to take a look at the overall result. So is it possible to have a good quality foam with both those tips, or is there any difference between them? First, let's take a look at the pressure in the boiler. And you can see that the 4-hole tip releases the pressure faster, so we're losing the pressure faster. And this is something you have to keep in mind. You have to have a boiler that's large enough to handle the tip. So if you have a rather small boiler, maybe a 2-hole tip is better. If your boiler is on the larger side, then you're good to go with a 4-hole tip. Next, let's take a look at how fast the 2 tips can handle different amounts of milk and steam them. Here is the timetable, and what you can see is that the 4 holes are faster, but double the holes doesn't mean half the time. The last thing we want to take a look at is the foam quality, and for that, let's try some basic latte art. Let's wrap this up with a conclusion. First, the 2-hole tip. This is great. It gives you time, and that's a good thing. You can use it with both jugs, the small one and the larger one. But you need time, and the less milk you have to foam, the better it is to have some time. So if you're new to the game, or if you more often than not need milk for only one drink, we would recommend this tip. The 4-hole tip. This changes things. It is fast, but at the same time harder to handle. So the less milk you have, the harder it is to handle. On the other hand, if you have lots of milk to steam, this thing is brilliant. It makes your workflow faster, and in my opinion, it feels smoother overall. So if you need lots of milk at once, or if you simply like the time saving, then I would recommend using a big jug and the 4-hole tip. Both are really useful. You can do a lot of good stuff with both of them. You can have beautiful cappuccino and really enjoy it. It depends on what preferences you have. I'm curious to know what kind of tip you use for making a nice cappuccino. Please let me know down in the comments, and see you next time. Goodbye.